back to True Blue for you. If this is your first time tuning in, please cater to that red subscribe button and subscribe. Thank you. And if you already subscribed and already been a viewer, you are appreciated. And speaking of, paying homage to my man Tupac today. Top five that are alive, baby. It's actually the 23rd anniversary of his death, so I just wanted to pay homage today. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna just get into this. In math, they're teaching us about addition and subtraction. In English, they're teaching us about reading and comprehension. Social studies is teaching us nothing on how they're hiding the fact that they're teaching us cultural division. Some people are blessed with 20/20 and still have no vision. Rather sit in front of their phone or television. I myself am guilty of that too. But damn, why didn't they teach us more about my ancestors in school? How Julius Caesar burnt down libraries that had documents of my ancestors being kings and queens. Damn, why don't they mention them things? They're glad to show us how we were once enslaved. oh, that's engraved in our history. But there's so much more to my people, and they're keeping that a mystery. Just look at us. I could tell by our genetics that we are built the dominant race. That's why we continue to prevail through all the tragedy we face. Our men are built smarter, faster, and even stronger. I can't let this cycle continue any longer. They install laws to keep our men enslaved yet again. Are y'all not noticing a pattern? As for our queens, stronger isn't even the word. We have not only the physical strength to carry our men, but emotionally and mentally too. Our beautiful skin, even the sun kisses us. Our curvy little hips, our pleasantly plump lips. If you knew better, you'd do better. Stop this black on black crime crap. He shot my man, so I shot back. Oh, would you look at that? Falling right back into their trap. I won't let them win. I send my kids to school, but I'd be damned if they're not educated on their black education. And I'm done. Okay, so there's just so much more to us, and there's so much stuff that I feel like that people are not aware of regarding us, and I feel like we're raising a world that tries to teach us that we're not good enough and want us to hate ourselves. We're killing each other, killing ourselves, and we're trying to be people we're not. It's just, it's sickening. It's sad. And I'm raising my daughters. And like a couple years ago, I remember my 5th or 4th grade teacher having segments on the whole February on our Black History, like, heroes. And they don't do that anymore. I think my daughter was in like 4th or 3rd grade, and I found out that they learned about Martin Luther King because there's a Martin Luther King Day, but like they don't learn about anything. And my church, actually, my mom and my grandmother and those people teach them, but at school they're not. And I was like frustrated, so I actually started taking my daughter. Both my daughters. One of them was a toddler, so she wouldn't understand what I was talking about. So we would go to the library every week, sometimes twice a week. We go to the library, and I would pull out all the books that I can find on whatever influential African American from back in the days for the whole month of February, which I shouldn't just do it on February, but like I was so frustrated that that wasn't a thing on our month, you know? So I took my daughter, both of them, to the library. We would pick out a book. She would read a page, I would read a page, and we would read about it. I would talk about it. I would explain it to her if she didn't, because she was still kind of young too. And my youngest didn't understand. So she like would pick out a book and like sit on the chairs and play everywhere else. But like me and my older daughter actually connected, and like her reading skills went up and everything with that. So that was good, and I wish I would have kept doing that. So I did that like for like 2 years. Then I stopped. I moved away, and like I found one. I started going to the library this past February, and I took my daughters a couple times. It wasn't as much as I used to, but because it's just my schedule and their sports and everything. but we started doing it, and I get emotional. Like we started with Martin Luther King, because I think it was Martin Luther King Day or something like that. We started, and oh no, my daughter had an event at the end of February, end of January, and on our step team, and we started. That's why we started with Martin Luther King, but I was so emotional because there's this book, I don't know what it was, but it told it from his son's perspective, and that was so sad to me. Like, that was his hero, and it was messed up. And it's frustrating that, like I said, they're hiding the fact that they're teaching us cultural division. They're like low key teaching our kids how to hate themselves, and to teach them, like, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that, but this topic, same with the one about like our election, is something I'm really passionate about, and I have like so much I want to say, and I'm trying to get it all at once. I'm trying to think and gather. I should have wrote it down. I did make a checklist, but I think I left the notebook at work. So like, yeah. If and I even invited last year, I put it on my Instagram, that if there's any kids in like that are around that want to participate, they are required to read aloud if they can. They read, like my kids, they were getting so excited and they were getting so into it, and I feel like it's good on so many levels. For one, it's teaching them to not be afraid to read out loud, and their fluency on reading, their reading comprehension, and they're learning about their ancestors. They're learning about their heroes that are their complexion, and I love that. And I wish I should do it more. I'm not gonna say I wish I should have, because I could still do it, but like I just wish I kept up with that more. I just did that typically on February, because they don't really talk about it much, which I feel they should. Like, we get 1 month, represent us, and they don't, and that sucks. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't even know where to go with this. The slaves, like, they'll install laws to keep us enslaved. Our African American men, our genetics are so dominant. A drop of African American, like if a Caucasian woman gets with a African American man, 99% of the chance that baby is going to look like it has some type of black. That's how dominant we are. And I know that we're hated because of that. We're really the dominant race, like in any aspect. And I touched on that briefly, but I want y'all to understand, and I want everybody of color to understand that we are beautiful, and our melanin is gorgeous. The skin kiss us, like I said. And if you're having kids, and you have kids, raise them to love the skin they're in. My daughters are both darker than me, and at one point, I remember my daughter, I think a couple years ago, not recently, she was telling me that she wished she was my complexion. And I was telling her, like, my issues as growing up as a light-skinned person. Like they joke about it. People joke about it, like, oh, you're not even black, or you're mad light, and, like, you were a house nigger. That's not right. If I get pulled over, somebody, a African-American male with my complexion, they still black. We're still black. Stop all that light skin, dark skin, like that house nigga, field nigga stuff. I was about to say trying to stop cursing. But yeah, like, stop that. And like, I would tell them how, like, people would like think that I'm mixed, or like I was half white. I'm black. My mother is black. My father is black. I am mixed with Jeannie and Tony. That's it. That's all. And it's annoying. And I used to tell them that was my complex. I wish I was darker so people knew that I was black. That's what I wanted. But I guess nobody's really happy, which is understandable. But I want my kids to love their melanin. I want them to, like, I don't know. I love me now. I love my complexion now. But like when I was younger, I didn't. And that was the reason why. I don't like when people say that I'm white, or I don't like people that talk about my lightness, or like I have to prove my blackness. I'm black, period, regardless. And I just hated that. And I want my kids to understand, like, when I was a kid, I wanted your complexion. And I tell them that, like, they're beautiful. What else did I want to touch on? I don't even know, but I'm going to make another video this week with my little sister. So you guys better tune in. Go check out my Instagram, More Unique, Perfectly Imperfect Me, and with the M and the letter E is my Instagram name. If you're not already on my Instagram, which you guys are, a lot of you, I've been getting mad love from social media. I love y'all. Thank you, and let's represent, and let's change this bullshit that we be having with this black on black crime. And like we already have a disadvantage because we don't really know our history when you think of it. Like we know we were slaves, but we were more than that before that. You understand that? We were kings and queens. Do y'all not understand? And they did stuff to destroy it or hide it, and that hurts that we don't know much about where we come from besides being slaves. And they make sure they emphasize that. We learn about us being slaves anywhere we go. We learn about that. All the influential African Americans were once slaves and they escaped. But there was more before all that. Like, can we rewind a little bit further? But yeah, I'm going to end this now because I am unorganized and I'm getting mad because I had so much more I wanted to say, but I can't think of it because my checklist is at work. But thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Like I said, that little red button, And if you already have, I appreciate you. Thank you, like I said. And pay homage to my man. My man right here. And like I said, if y'all think I'm playing, I'm dead serious. I do not have not one title to any poem that I've recently written, and most of my poems that I've written in the past, that's just not how I work. I write the poems and then I think of a title, and it's really hard for me. So like if y'all legit have a title that I rock with, I would like legit use that. Thank you. Y'all helping me. Can you please help assist out? Like I asked you before. Comment your suggestion on a title for that poem. I appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend and be safe.